Hello, my name is Alex Fornino, former U.S. Candidate for U.S. Congress in Florida's 27th District, and I'm here to present to you different candidates because I've dropped out and I sort of have an obligation to endorse candidates, right? Especially ones that are good, because these four are quite good, and I'm impressed by them. And I believe they, present a new standard for the Democratic Party that should be followed. Especially now, and now's an important time because we have just about 3 months until our Democratic primaries, so that we have, a chance to really choose some good people. Peguero is decent, I'd say. Not as good as the others, but he is in my district, so I kind of have an obligation here. And also, I'm here. I can see him. I've met him. I have not met Oliver just yet, but maybe soon. But Larkin over here is his situation. FL25 was actually gerrymandered by, believe it or not, by Republicans. Governor DeSantis, and the other Republicans. They shifted the district so that 25 doesn't have like a western, like a part of Broward County that's suburban. Now it's just the beach areas from I think somewhere in Palm Beach County, I think, to Miami-Dade County, to Miami Beach, that whole beach area. So at least it's consistent, but it's shifted in a way that I think I saw on a map. It's just barely conservative leaning. But hey, that's why that's just a challenge. We have a challenge on our hands to show these areas what real representation is all about. So I hope you enjoy these presentations of the candidates' positions, their issues, and by the way, I have contributed to all four of these candidates because I believe they have the right energy behind them. The right values. So to speak, and you shall see in this series. So I hope you watch all of them, or I hope you enjoy whatever you do see of this little series of reading the issues portions of their websites. Priorities. Let's go. Angie Nixon. I think she's from Pensacola or something. I haven't really heard of her. I think I might have heard of her a bit, because she was a state house representative. But let's see. Plank 1. Let's skip over, because this might be long if I read the entirety of these platforms. So let's see. Crack down on corporate price gouging. Pass and enforce federal legislation to stop corporations from inflating prices. Okay. Not very specific, but I like the intent of it. Housing is a right. Fund and build affordable housing at scale. Expand down payment assistance. Okay, yeah. And stop the displacement of working families from the communities they built. Yeah, those are definitely addressing real issues that people have. Breaking the insurance cartel. We will establish a federal backstop and impose strict transparency and accountability requirements on the insurers, driving unmanageable rate hikes. Okay. Yeah. Lower the cost of living directly. Okay. We will take on the corporate consolidation and monopolies that are driving up costs across every sector of daily life. A bit vague, but I get it. That's good. Good intention. Real living wage. Let's see. Raise it to reflect the annual actual cost of living and index it so it never falls behind again. Not specific. I've heard people say 15, 20, 25. It's a reform, but if it's tied to inflation, that could That would keep people above water. So that's pretty good. Pass the PRO Act. That's the protecting the right to organize. Doesn't really get into the details of it, but there's it's a whole bill, so it's pretty good. Restore collective bargaining power, so workers can negotiate industry-wide standards, not just workplace by workplace. Okay, a bit vague, but okay. Stand with workers in action. I think maybe this would be like not to condemn strikes, maybe. I don't know. Protect retirement, no cuts, no negotiations. Defend Social Security and Medicare. That's good. That's important. A bit vague, but just they have to be maintained. I mean, what are we gonna do? Our seniors are just gonna die out? You can't do that to them. They worked their whole lives, or the vast majority of them have. Fully fund public education, and the diversion of public dollars to private voucher schemes. Okay. Increase Title I funding, invest where the need is greatest. Yeah, that's good. Yep. Accountability for privatization schemes. Any program that diverts private funds must meet the same standards of transparency and results as public schools, or lose funding. That's important. Like it could be, you can delegate all you want, but as long they have to follow the standards. They have to, get our children educated in a proper way, so that they have like critical thinking skills, so that they know what the world is. Universal child care. Ooh, that's good. National child care system that working families can access reliably and affordably. Yep. I haven't seen that very often, but I think I've started to see that a little bit more often. I think someone shared that. Let me see. Let me check my phone. I think I saved something about that. Let's see. Respect educators, raise salaries, reduce burnout, and guarantee mental health resources. Ooh, at every school. That's nice. Strange. I know I found something. No, I'm not going to look around for it, but I definitely have heard about that universal child care thing. I don't think Bernie Sanders ran on it in 2016, or at least he didn't emphasize it as much as, say, Medicare for all, which speak of it, and it is here. But first, codify reproductive freedom, Roe v. Wade into federal law, no exceptions, no backtracking. Yes. Healthcare is a right. Universal single-payer system. Yep, that's solid. No more insurance companies standing between you and your doctor. Yeah, it's well, maybe not too complicated, but it's very complicated and very bothersome and very expensive to have private insurance. Healthcare is a right, and it shouldn't be something that you can afford or you cannot afford, because you can't afford effectively, personally, to not get health care. Like what, you lose half your leg and then you don't get a crutch, or you get some kind of organ damage and you don't get that patched up because you can't afford that. That's terrible. Lower drug prices now. Yeah, that's another thing about healthcare. Use federal power to cap and negotiate this prescription drug costs. That's a fairly common demand. So that's viable, I'd say. Maybe not very viable, but maybe add like another 20, 30, 40 people like this, like Angie and I, in both houses, and we could probably squeeze that in. defend civil rights, pass real police accountability legislation, and protect the rights of our black communities, immigrant, and LGBTQ neighbors without compromise. Yes, a bit vague, but I imagine she has some details of that in mind, so that's good. Oh, this is pretty big. Taking back our government. Nor corporate PAC money, yep, and Citizens United. Yes, indeed. And this campaign is funded by people, not corporations. So I imagine that means no super PACs, no corporations. Maybe maybe a lawyer or two, or some doctors, medical doctors, and such. Some people who are doing well, but generally it's not. It's this. I imagine this campaign. She's being honest about this campaign of hers. No APAC or special interest control will not take money from APAC or any organization that expects to shape U.S. policy without accountability to the people she represents. Foreign policy must answer to the American people, not to a lobbying machine. So it doesn't mention the elephant, the nation state in the room, but I get the idea. Ban congressional stock trading. Yeah, I've heard that quite a few times. No insider trading. Set term limits. Very little has changed because the folks in power have stayed the same. Term limits, usher in fresh ideas. That's generally pretty good. And by generally, I say like maybe 80-90%. There could be some really good people in office who are seniors, like Bernie Sanders, or maybe Elizabeth Warren. I don't know how long she's been in there, but I don't know. You get the idea. End the revolving door, ban them from becoming lobbyists, and stop lobbyists from writing our laws. That seems more complicated than it sounds, but I mean it's easier said than done. But whatever can be done there, I welcome. Angie will propose legislation from the community and by the community. Interesting, very interesting. I haven't heard that one before. That's good, very good. People's budget will work to ensure our country's budget is reflective of the needs of the people, not greedy billionaires and corrupt corporations. Also a bit vague, but this is another thing I haven't heard of a lot before. People's town halls, regular open forums across Florida, because representation requires presence and accountability. Proper representation, yes. Reliable representation, yes. That does require those. Restoring decency, respect, and public service back into the office. Polarization and nastiness will not continue in the office with Angie. She will treat and demand respect for all people, stamp out hate, okay. And she lists like 10 different kinds of hate. How about that? And that's it for Angie Nixon. I gotta get to other candidates like Robin. I already skimmed over his platform, but let's see where anti-corruption agenda. What the? Oh my, this is new. But let me see where Robin stands. Is this? I think this is the same as before. So let's just look into this anti-corruption agenda. Robin here is not an amazing candidate, but he's a good standard Democrat. He's a good guy. I like him. I met him, and he's in my district. So I kind of have to take responsibility for whoever we have, if they are someone who can be accountable. Salazar over here, she does not care. She's in another world. She's really careless, if you ask me. So let's see, we got 10 points. Let's just dive into these 10 points and hop on over to Oliver. So first, An immediate ban on members of Congress and their families trading individual stocks while in office. No exceptions, no third-party excuses. That last bit is interesting. Good extra thing to add. So yeah, more of that. 12-year term limits. Oh, so he's actually specific about it. And 12 years is good. That's 2 terms in the Senate, 6 in the House. That's good. Career politicians serve themselves, not their constituents. As I said, for the most part, that is true. Age limits for members of Congress. Okay. Kind of like the term limits. I'd say I'm generally in favor of it. Lifetime ban on members becoming lobbyists after leaving the House. No cashing in on your service. If you can pull that off, that's pretty good. And out of control congressional luxury perks. I'm not sure. I don't know how out of control they are, but I can imagine that they are. They do have a pretty hefty salary, I'll tell you that much. Create a truly independent congressional ethics agency with real investigative power. Members of Congress cannot keep investigating themselves. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because a lot of the time people get investigated. Congress people get investigated, and they're the people they're working with are biased in their favor, right? Especially if they're in the same party. So that's good. Strengthen the Federal Election Commission to hold violators accountable. Then pass a constitutional amendment to reverse Citizens United and end dark money in campaigns. Reversing Citizens United would end unlimited dark money in campaigns. I think the correct word there instead of "and" would be "to," I think. But anyway, that's good. Yep, we see that a lot. Reconstitute the FBI's Public Corruption Unit and fully fund the DOJ's, Department of Justice's Public Integrity Unit. Okay. Mr. Peguero, Robin, is definitely the kind of person who would understand that situation, so I trust him on that. I believe he has as much expertise as anyone else, more or less. So in that regard, so that's great. Then end prediction market manipulation in federal elections. A bit small of a thing, but it adds up to 10, so I'll take it. All right, now Oliver for Congress for FL 25, as I mentioned, it's got the beaches. 27 here for Peguero is kind of like mostly a suburban area, like generally just a chunk of land that's southwest of Miami Beach and the city of Miami. That district, I think 24, that I think Frederica Wilson is going to maintain.